unmuted. When instructed, please announce your name and address and wait for the moderator to recognize you before you begin speaking. Each participation session will be 3 minutes in length, and you will be notified when your time has expired. When public participation session completes, all teleconference visitors will be muted again.
Thank you, Johanna. Would we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Johanna, would you call the roll, please?
Mayor Becker?
Here.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Here.
Commissioner Blumberg?
I am here.
We have before us for approval minutes of our regular meeting of January 7th and our special meetings of May 16th, June 20th, October 3rd, and December 5th of 2019. What is your pleasure?
I'll make a motion we approve those.
I'll second that motion.
Mayor Becker?
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
We'll now have a discussion on the Atlantic Avenue Road Diet. Ed Dennis, are you available?
Yep.
Good. Before we get into this, would you give us like a brief explanation of what this is in case anyone that's from the public is listening and is not informed?
Sure. So I did issue a memo dated January 19th. It's pretty short, so I'll just summarize that memo. On December 15th and December 16th, we hosted virtual public presentations to provide information regarding the proposed road diet on Atlantic Avenue. The two presentations were well attended by members of the public and included an opportunity for the public to make comments and ask questions. Participants spoke for and against the project for various reasons. The proposed road diet would reduce the existing 4-lane roadway to a 3-lane roadway on Atlantic Avenue, consisting of 2 through lanes, 1 turn lane, and a wider bicycle lane on both sides of the road. These changes would extend from Ventnor to Longport. The city has received a grant from the NJDOT in the amount of $273,642. The total estimated cost for this project is approximately $400,000. In general, road diets offer high-value improvements at relatively low cost of striping and signage. The general benefits of a road diet project are well documented by the NJDOT, the Federal Highway Administration, and other transportation agencies. Benefits include crash reduction, reduced speed, improved mobility, and enhanced safety. There was a Ventnor Margate bicycle and pedestrian plan completed in 2016 that recommends a road diet on Atlantic Avenue. And Remington and Vernick completed a traffic study in September 2020. In that traffic study, we recommend that the City of Margate move forward with the proposed road diet on Atlantic Avenue. The traffic analysis completed for both future years 2025 and future year 2045 show that the road diet will work for all users of the roadway. No significant degradation in traffic operations is expected, and the corridor will be more pedestrian and bicycle friendly. That summarizes what was presented to the public, our traffic study, and our findings.
Thank you very much, Ed. Chief Hankinson, are you available?
Yes, I am, Mayor.
Do you have a recommendation for the commissioners?
Yes, I do, Mayor. As I stated in my report to you from January 18th to you and the commissioners, the road diet report prepared by Remington and Vernick pointed out potentially unsafe situations for both pedestrians and motor vehicles utilizing Atlantic Avenue due to the current 4 travel lane configuration. From my years on the Margate City Police Department and my years of being a resident here, we have all seen the situations that arise on Atlantic Avenue when pedestrians attempt to cross the roadway. The city of Margate has also seen an increase in pedestrians and bicycle traffic in recent years. It is my recommendation that the current 4-lane travel configuration of Atlantic Avenue be revised to a 2-lane road diet with a center turn lane. I believe this configuration would not only enhance pedestrian safety and allow for a wider and safer bicycle lane, but would also create a roadway which is more efficient to those drivers who utilize it daily. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Matt. Appreciate it. John or Maury, or do you have any comment? As we close this, one comment from me first. As we close this discussion, the next part of the meeting on the agenda will be public comment, and if there's anybody listening that wants to comment, that would be the place where you would comment. Sorry, John or Maury.
Mike, the only comment I have is I want to thank our professionals for preparing their 2 reports, and they're pretty much self-explanatory, and with the documents that we received through the studies that in 2020 Remington and Vernick did, I think this concept has been going on discussion for almost 8 years in the police department, and with the recommendation of our police chief and our engineer, I totally support the road diet.
Thank you, John. Maury?
Yeah, Mike, I too want to thank our Remington, Vernick, as well as the city and all the people that worked studying this and put together the presentations. I think they were all excellent. I feel like we've done the best that we could do to inform the public of the intentions here. I also am not a fan of the pedestrian crosswalk law. I wasn't a fan of it when it was instituted. I think that law has emboldened pedestrians to cross without looking and or thinking, understanding that they can cross whenever they want and don't have to worry about cars. And that's presented us as motor vehicleists with a terrible dilemma. My thinking is, and the concern, most of the concerns that have come my way are related to traffic backing up on the avenue as people try and cross, specifically in the summertime at intersections where there are no lights. My feeling is, and I trust the professionals, that we're not going to have issues there. And in that regard, I think that I'm leaning towards the recommendation that they've made to implement this plan, and I'm excited for the next step. So that's what I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Maury. Just for the record, before we get in, I want everybody to be aware that we have a approximately $273,000 grant to accomplish this. I've been the whole game. I personally have run the gamut with this whole thing, but after extensive study and being my major concern for safety, I think I favor it very strongly also. So at this point, if no one else from the city has any comments on this road diet, we'll go into public comment and maybe we'll hear from the public.
School 22 West 5.
What do you describe? Is that your meeting? Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
Here, this notion of a road diet is nothing short of brain dead, ridiculous. Do not come down the shore on any kind of diet, particularly one that will create bottlenecks along Atlantic Avenue. A wonderful, wide Atlantic Avenue allows for the free flow of traffic. If you want to make it one lane each way, you can have some adult octogenarian stumbling along at 10 or 15 miles an hour, backing up traffic to the Longport Bridge. There's absolutely no legitimate reason to make it one way, both ways. It's just crazy. I think they should really reconsider it. The fact is what Maury points out, that because of the pedestrian change in the pedestrian laws, people have become emboldened to run out into the street and expect people to stop on a dime. That's not the way we're taught. Vehicles should have the right of way. People who ignore that, ignore it at their own peril. Granted, nowadays, this pedestrian law, the pedestrian has the right of way. And they've construed that to mean that they can cross the street at a red light. That's not the way the law reads. And I think you're inviting more problems doing this change in lane. You should keep it open, flow of traffic. And if there's not, you're going to once again put another nail in the coffin of small businesses in Margate. With this COVID hysteria, many of these restaurants are on the brink of bankruptcy. And I think it's extremely unwise to do anything that discourages tourism down to Margate. So I strongly urge all three of the commissioners to seriously reconsider this notion. And besides that, it's going to cost taxpayers additional money. This is not a totally free project. It's going to chew up well over $100,000 of taxpayer dollars for a dubious project. We don't want it. It should be stopped dead in its tracks. Thank you very much, ma'am.
You're welcome. Thank you for your input, Mr. Sewell.
Vaughn Real?
Would like to speak?
Vaughn Real? Vaughn Real?
Well, Amy Real is here. I won't speak for him, but I would like to say something.
Go ahead, Amy.
Thank you. I live at 8009 Monmouth Avenue, and I am recently new to this town, only being here for 14 years. But my fear is that this road diet will not only upset my dog, will make it will bottleneck all of the traffic, and it will force locals, because I believe that this is geared primarily towards our summer influx of people, that it will gear all of those people who do not want to sit in the bottleneck and wait for the people to travel across the walk lanes to then go down Winchester Avenue and Monmouth Avenue and Amherst Avenue in the frustration of not being able to move more fluidly down Atlantic Avenue. That being said, when we opened up the bike lanes, we've had multiple damages to both of our vehicles from bikes hitting them. So all of these changes, I believe, are negatively affecting the year-round residents and favoring the summer residents. So it becomes an issue of who are we catering towards in this community, when I know that most of our income comes from our, obviously we get a lot of money from our summer residents, but to the neglect of our winter or year-round residents feels a bit on the insulting side. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for your comments and input. Fred, who's next?
Go ahead, Vaughn.
This is,
Okay, Vaughn Real, 6 North Mansfield Avenue. I just want to thank you guys for really bringing the information out to the community. I have 3 questions for you, and I'll finish with a statement. But by the way, I'm looking out my window to see if hell's frozen over, because I actually agree with John Sewell on this. So with that said, 3 questions. What is the specific goal for accident reduction that's going to be used to benchmark whether this project is a success? Because when I did the Oprah request on this, it showed that Atlantic Avenue had 12 total accidents for the calendar year 2020, and for 2019, they had 5 accidents on Atlantic Avenue from June 1st to September 15th. So what's the benchmark for success? The second question, if we don't hit that benchmark for success, or we figure out down the road we really don't want this, how much will it cost us to reverse it? Because to do it, it costs $400,000. I'm assuming to undo it, it's going to cost more than $400,000, and we probably won't have a grant to do that. The final question for you is, without the grant, would we still be considering dropping $400,000 on this project? Now, I'll make a brief comment, and I'll wait for the answers to the 3 questions. As a former mayor, I can tell you that our biggest problem and our biggest complaint was Atlantic Avenue traffic. I can tell you that Sig Rim said in his 30 years there, that was the biggest complaint they got. The other thing that I'll say is that I've heard time and time again that we're doing it because AC and Ventnor is doing it. Well, I called one of Ventnor's commissioners. They said they haven't even brought it up for discussion yet. And I called an AC council person, and they said they wouldn't bet on it. The last thing, if we could take the money and put it on actual traffic lights that actually control the intersection, it might be money better spent. So the 3 questions: what's the goal for accident reduction that we're using for a benchmark for success? If we don't like it, how much and can we reverse it, and how much will it cost? And would we be doing this if we didn't have the grant? Thank you.
Vaughn, just a procedural thing. This is not a question and answer period, and that's been our position historically. We will get back to you on the answers to the 3 questions, and I thank you for your comments and your input. Who's
Thank you,
next,
Mayor.
Fred, please?
Joe, are you out?
Joe, yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead.
I just have a comment on this.
Joe, name and address.
I'm sorry. My name is Joe Campanini, but my family's been down Margate since 1929, the Farley family. This has long been overdue. I've been down there many, many, many seasons, and the traffic speed on Atlantic Avenue. I'm sorry?
I need an
Go ahead, Joe.
8805 Monmouth Avenue.
Thank you.
Continue, please.
Got it? Okay, and I can't tell you over the past 30 years how many times the speeds have increased on Atlantic Avenue. And what's going to happen is somebody eventually is going to get hit, especially the kids in the summertime. Even though I'm down there in the wintertime, this is long overdue. First and foremost, Margate is a resort town. And it hasn't affected Longport. Longport's traffic has not been affected, and how long have they been 2 lanes? So this, guys, I can't commend you guys enough for getting this done. And I look forward to it going down to 2 lanes. I have one question. When is it proposed to be completed?
Oh, got you on that when we get further information from our engineers as to cost and timing. How's that, Mr. Kemper?
Is it going to be completed before this year or no?
So I personally would like it to be. I don't know if that's physically possible.
Well,
We have to
I'm just so happy.
okay, we'll get back to you on that.
I'm just so happy you guys are getting it done. Thank you so much.
Fred, anyone else?
I don't think any more callers are out there.
Okay. Then I guess we should close this section of the agenda on discussion so we can go into public comment. Is there a motion to close this discussion session?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Okay, at this point, we will open public comment. You have 3 minutes. You may speak on any subject. Is there any public comment? We will entertain a motion to close public comment.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it, Mayor.
Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Okay, we will now open for public comment on the resolutions that are listed on the agenda. Is there anyone who would like to discuss anything there? Is there a motion to close this section of public comment?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
can we could you authorize and ask our city engineer to prepare a resolution to bring the road diet up to a vote at our next meeting in February to proceed?
That would be nice if we can do that, of course. Procedurally, Scott, are you on the phone?
I am. I'm here. What do you want to do?
Can we add something to the resolutions?
No, not for this meeting, for our next meeting in February.
I mean, just for us to proceed from here to final. Okay, I'm good with that.
Mayor. I don't have a problem with that.
No.
Put on the next meeting.
Okay, that's fine. So,
Mayor, if I may. Mayor.
Yes, go ahead.
Commissioner Blumberg here. I just want to say, and I agree with both you and John. I think we should get this on the next agenda. I sit here and I think that there is no, for me, there is no dollar value that we can place on the human life. And if this program prevents one accident and potentially saves one life, it's worth it to me, the amount of money that we'll have to spend. And I just wanted to go on the record for that. Thank you.
One accident is one too many. At this point, Ed Dennis, I'm going to ask you a question. We're going to instruct you to go ahead and get this for presentation at our next meeting. Is that possible?
What exactly is it would you like for the next meeting?
Well, we'd like to put a resolution with the cost. Oh.
Sure. So typically,
we need a resolution to go out the bid, man.
I think that's the way we would do it. We do a resolution to go out to bid, Ed.
That's what I was going to say.
Correct.
Typically, for capital projects, you guys vote on a resolution to authorizing advertisement for bids, and I think that would be the appropriate next step.
That's fine. Okay. That would get done, and I'd be okay with that. That's fine. Okay. We okay with Johanna? You ready?
I'm ready.
Go for it.
May I have a motion for resolution number 13, 2020, authorizing payment of claims?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
I have a motion for resolution number 14, 2020, authorizing payment to Colmar Home Center.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. It's 21.
Mayor Becker,
I abstain.
Commissioner Amadeo,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
I have a motion for the consent agenda, which consists of resolution number 15, 2021 through resolution number 25, 2001.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
I guess that's it for you, Johanna. Thank you very much. Gentlemen, does anybody have any updates or any comments you want to make at this point before we adjourn?
Mayor, I have something I'd like to say.
Go ahead, please.
I found out today that at the Benson Avenue water tower that they're doing work on, Verizon Wireless has shut down that communication from there.
How does that affect the community, Fred?
Well, if anyone remembers the last time when we painted the tank, we did get a lot of phone calls from people complaining that they couldn't make cell phone calls and whatever. So I'm just putting it on the record. I can tell you for a fact that I've gotten no calls sitting in my office, in or out, and that's how I decided to go check and see what was going on. So Verizon Wireless has shut down that communication point for the city.
And what did we do the last time when the same thing happened, Fred?
What did we did nothing except notify the people when they called and complained to us that this is what was going on.
Well,
How long did they say it's going to be out, Fred?
I don't know. Ed, do you know how long that project's going to take?
So the actual completion of the project extends through the better part of April, but that doesn't mean that they'll keep the cell antenna out the entire time. I can follow up and see if there's a duration on that, an expected duration on that.
And Fred, Ed, while you're doing that, could you find out if there's something they can do to alleviate this situation?
Yes.
And anyone else have an update here? Is there a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Mayor Becker,
Yes.
Commissioner Amadeo,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Thank you all for participating. We appreciate it. Thank you, and have a good day.